Hello, welcome back to Statman Dave Clips. Today we're going to be answering the question, should Arsenal sack Edu? Going to take a look at what he's done and all the options around the world of football for a new director of football. If you are new around here, please hit that subscribe button. Of course, come and find us over on Twitch to get involved with this type of fun. Let's dive in. Former gunner, Edu, appointed back in 2019, Edu joining the technical job, which is his job is to coordinate the first team coaching group, the academy, player scouting and recruitment in order to see the constant building up and efficiency of strengthening the squad. In terms of Edu, obviously ex-Arsenal, kind of knows the club, knows Brazilian football, and obviously came from being the director of football at Corinthians and the general coordinator of the Brazilian national team. So you kind of expect a few more Brazilians to kind of enter the Arsenal squad. In terms of the good things, the bad things he's done right now, there's probably more bad than good. You're talking few players that Arsenal obviously have brought in, but also offered new deals. I think first and foremost, if we're going to be breaking down Arsenal, we've got to look at the players that they've re-signed. Number one, Aubameyang. Aubameyang signed a new deal last season in the Premier League and finished with one of his worst goal-scoring league campaigns in years. Signing Aubameyang up to a new £350,000 contract, for me, is a bad move. Next up, Edu's next little bit of business, signing Willian on a free from Chelsea. As we know with Willian, he's never ever been consistent in the Premier League and was inconsistent for Arsenal. 25 appearances, 16 starts, 1 goal and 5 assists. Of course, a few of those assists coming in the first sort of 2 games of the season. Next up, I think some more bad moves for Edu. I think you're looking at some of the other signings. Cedric Suarez, is he good enough for Arsenal? A player that was signed on a free transfer, could that be used to strengthen elsewhere? Is that just covering a hole that's not really being fixed? I'd say that, bad move. And next, I think the worst part of this all was letting Emi Martinez leave Arsenal. I think that is a massive, massive, massive mistake. Emi Martinez, last season in the Premier League, by a bit of a mile, to be fair, probably the best goalkeeper in the league. Played all 38 games for Aston Villa. 15 clean sheets, one of the best post-shot expected goals numbers, one of the best save percentages in the league. That was an absolute stinker. I think in terms of other questionable signings that had been made, probably Pablo Mari. I don't think he's kind of adapted to the Premier League. I think Pablo Mari's probably a player that would excel in La Liga, that would play at a little slower tempo. I think there is a kind of position where he gets exposed, especially against Romelu Lukaku against Chelsea. He had a very, very poor game. Got completely dominated physically. And as well, obviously, a signing that we can't really judge yet. But by the statistics, you know, Aaron Ramsey's a downgrade to Emi Martinez, and that is a bit of a concern for me. Good signings, though. The good things Edu's done. I like the signings of Ben White. I think that's a brilliant deal. I like the signings of Gabriel. I think that's a fantastic deal as well. And that as a partnership of two 23-year-olds at centre-back for Arsenal, that is building for the future. Big ticks there. I like the signing of Martin Ødegaard. I like the signing of Lokonga. I like the signing of Thomas Partey. I think they are all great deals. I think that as a midfield three going forward for Arsenal, Partey, Lokonga, and Ødegaard, that is a great kind of collective group. But have Arsenal done enough? Today we're going to look at Ralf Rangnick, we're going to look at Overmars, and we're going to look at Emenalo, the ex-Chelsea DOF. Obviously these players have been kind of, you know, these managers have been looked at as potential replacements. First up, let's take a look at Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick, of course, heavily influenced the kind of move to prominence of RB Leipzig, of Hoffenheim, did a great job at Schalke, RB Leipzig with signings over the past 10 years, really, really good stuff. Spent 2 years as the global director of at Red Bull, so overseeing Salzburg, Leipzig, New York, and Red Bull Brazil as well. Also now at Lokomotiv Moscow in Russia. I think the big signings, you look at Ralf Rangnick, the best recruitment decisions he's made have not only been players, but have been managers as well. I think this is a big thing for For Arsenal, looking forward, Ralf Rangnick would come to the club and really, really change the recruitment model. They'd be looking for young, talented players that would be very energetic, would be pressing, would have the right attitude. One of the rules that Red Bull had with Rangnick in charge was that no young players would join that have tattoos. Again, it's like having this specific model for a player that they want, which kind of makes sense. I think the recruitment decisions they've made have been absolutely fantastic. So for Arsenal, as an idea of what Ralf Rangnick can do, players that he's brought in, Timo Werner signed from Stuttgart for 15 million euros. The 23-year-old, 88 goals and 38 assists in 148 games for the Red Bull at this time of writing of this article. Sadio Mane signed from Metz for 4 million euros. Roberto Firmino signed for Hoffenheim for 4 million euros. Erling Haaland, of course, brought from Molde to Red Bull Salzburg. Naby Keita signed from FC Istres 6 years ago. Again, another great bit of business. These 5 players, arguably some of the best players in European football. An attacking side, which is kind of exciting for Arsenal. Arsenal traditionally like to play attacking football. These are all great attacking signings. But I think the biggest thing for me is the recruitment of managers. Not only Julian Nagelsmann, that he brought over to manage Red Bull Leipzig, but also Roger Schmidt. That was a very exciting signing that Ralf Rangnick made for both Red Bull Salzburg and RB Leipzig in a sense. So these are the types of things that Ralf Rangnick does. I like Ralf Rangnick. I think he changes the entire scope of a football club, and I think Arsenal kind of might need that right now if Edu isn't the guy. Let's move forward to more director of footballs that could kind of come in and save Arsenal. Ex-player Mark Overmars, of course, has been doing a fantastic job rebuilding Ajax. And I think one of the big things with Ajax is a collective group. It's, they all kind of take responsibility for a lot of the stuff they do. But you look at the 16-17 window as a big window for talent spotting. And obviously Overmars overseeing all of this. The signings of David Neres, Hakim Ziyech, Davinson Sanchez, Bertrand Traore. 3 players that operate in the Premier League now. Great signings. But loads of other players came through and were bought to Ajax in the sort of the reign of Mark Overmars. And I think the biggest signing that he ever made, Frankie de Jong, signed from Willem II to join the Ajax Academy, and a player now that is literally one of the best midfielders in world football. The vision that someone like Overmars has for players looks quite good. And I think he grew into his recruitment. I think at the start, the recruitment was okay. Lasse Schöne on a free transfer was one of his early deals, but I think it got much better as it came on. We're seeing the likes of Nicolas Tagliafico signed from Independiente for around 3.6 million euros, 3 million quid, which is a very, very good deal. Moving to 18-19, let's see what he's got there. Dusan Tadic, that is a brilliant bit of business to evaluate a 29-year-old and say this guy can make a massive difference. Of course, that basically got Ajax to that Champions League semi, is those recruitment decisions, including David Neres, Hakim Ziyech, Frankie de Jong and Dusan Tadic. They're all players brought in by Mark Overmars. Obviously, a little bit less effective, but Lisandro Martinez, Edison Alvarez, both really good players. And then last season, bringing in the likes of Anthony. Like that is top level recruitment, and Mohamed Kudus as well. Big potential. So that's kind of looking at what Mark Overmars could do. And finally, we're going to have a look at former Chelsea chief scout Mikel Emenalo. In terms of what he's done, obviously Mikel Emenalo was first up Chelsea's chief scout in 2007, then moved to assistant manager in the 2010-11 season, then the technical director from the 2011 season. I think he's another manager that we can see, another DOF that can really spot quality here. When we take a look at his first window, we're looking at Juan Mata, Romelu Lukaku, Thibaut Courtois, Kevin De Bruyne. This is his first season as DOF. Now that is proper quality. Proper quality there. And obviously was there until 2017, so there's quite a few years that Michael was the DOF at Chelsea. Seeing Eden Hazard signed here, Aspilicueta, these are players that have become arguably like Premier League legends in a sense. Nemanja Matic, of course, Mohamed Salah. So we've just seen Lukaku, Salah, and De Bruyne all signed. I think that vision for youth is probably quite a good thing. Whether that fits Chelsea's system model, not too sure. Diego Costa, obviously a little bit more of a high-value player there. Bringing Didier Drogba back on a free transfer, which was great for the fans. It's 15-16. Let's see what happened there that year as well. Looking at the likes of Falcao brought on loan. Probably a reasonably poor window in a sense there. Pedro probably the biggest one, and then 16-17, what we got there, I think 16-17 wasn't great. Batshuayi, but bringing N'Golo Kante in, that's pretty big for Chelsea Football Club. Alonso was a decent bit of business. So there's some options. Thanks for watching, guys. If you are new around here, please hit that subscribe button once again and get into the comments. Should Arteta and Edu be sacked? Let me know down below. I've been Statman Dave on Statman Dave Clips. We'll see you later.